Hello, this is Karen Bull, and I am back with another entry, and I hope you are having a great week. I created this card for a blog named Heroes Monthly Challenge. This month I decided to use the Hero Arts Mouse Tea Party stamp set. You will note in the stamp set there are these cute little subtle flower details with the mice, and I thought that would be perfect for this month's challenge, which is put a flower on it. There are coordinating dies if you would like to get them, although I did not use them to create this card this month. I started with a piece of white bristle smooth cardstock cut to 5.5 by 4.25 inches wide, and I am placing the first image on my piece of paper within my MISTI. You do not need a stamp positioning tool for this, but for me it is helpful because I find that I sometimes do not get a good impression the first time around, and the stamp positioner tool helps me. The reason I started with the teacup is that I would like to do some masking. Teacup in the forefront of my image I will assemble. I stamp my teacup first. Here you'll see I am just using a piece of Post-it note to cover the teacup and keep it protected as I place my other images around the teacup. Next, I will place my little teapot with the flower on top of the masked teacup, and I'm going to ink that up in black ink and stamp my image. For this project, I used Hero Arts Black Shadow ink. This ink is a waterproof ink, which will be great for the technique that I'm going to use with my Zig Real Color brush markers. I'm going to paint all of these images using that medium, and that medium involves some water, and I want to make sure that the images do not smear or smudge as I'm applying down that color. Next, I put the teacup with the cute little mouse peeking out over the top onto my image, and I'm going to again stamp that with the black Hero Arts ink. I'm going to speed the video up as I continue to build up this scene with the cute little teacups and the mice and the flowers. You'll see that I add a little bit of detailing around the teacup and the coffee pot just to make the scene more whimsical. This was quite a stretch for me because I have never actually built up a scene, so it was kind of fun to see how this came together. So there you'll see I stamp my sentiment, and now I move on to adding some detail. Here I had a piece of vellum that I just drew a little flower onto to see where I wanted to position it on my mouse. Sorry, my head gets in the way there, but I am intently drawing my flower, which was quite stressful for me because I had this perfectly inked up image that I did not want to ruin, which is why I put that flower onto that piece of vellum to see how I could position it on my little mouse, which is in my teacup. Now that I am happy with my flower in my mouse's hair, I will remove that mask on the teacup, and you can see the finished result. There the teacup is front and center. Now I'm coming in with my Zig Real Color brush markers, and you'll see there on the left I have my water brush pen. I'll initially start with this little flower, which I did not use any water on to color in. But what's really nifty about this Bristol Smooth cardstock is that the ink from these pens just moves so fluidly when you add the water. It's really amazing to see the results, and it's really one of my favorite color mediums in crafting. It makes me look like an uber duper expert with shading, and really there's no effort at all. You can just simply lay down the color, take out your real brush pen, and move that color around. You'll see here that I'm getting a cloth just to clean off the tip of my water brush pen so that I don't contaminate ink colors as I move through this process of coloring. You will notice here that I used a little bit more water than I intend to, but when I move on to the coloring of the teacup, you'll really see how that ink just moves and pulls and allows for such beautiful shading and coloring and depth and dimension and interest. It's really just a neat technique. So don't forget that when you're done pulling that color, you really want to brush off or rub off the tip of your watercolor pen, because like I said, if you don't do that, you will contaminate colors and you may end up with a color that you don't really want on your inked up image, and that would be really disappointing when you've spent so much time creating a scene that you want to color in. So here I am bringing in a little bit of a teal color on my teacup, just laying down a smidge of color, making sure not to go outside the lines. If you were concerned about staying within the lines as you're coloring, you could have stamped this in VersaFine ink and heat embossed it, so you had a little bit of a wall built up with that embossing powder, and then your color wouldn't go anywhere. But you'll see here I'm just pulling down that color and creating a shaded area so it goes from dark to light on my teacup, which I just think is so great. Such a wonderful detail. I really wanted this card to be whimsy, so I use a lot of bright colors. You do not have to use these bright colors in your image, but I just thought that it really played up the cute scene that I had created. Very whimsical, very fun and animated. So I'm just going to continue coloring here to fill in my image. You will see with the power of video recording that we move from just me coloring in the teacup to a final image where the entire thing has been colored from top to bottom. So thank you for bearing with me. I don't think that I'm a great colorer, so I just thought that I would skip along on some of this detail. So here you can see the final image. I'm coming in with a black jelly roll pen to add a little bit of detail to the center of the flower, on the tips of the butterfly antenna, and then the eyes on the mouse for a little bit of shine and dimension. Next, I need to create a frame for my little scene I created, and I'm using the Hero Arts Infinity rounded dies, which are great. I've selected a die that will leave an opening appropriate for the size of the image I've created. And here I just have a piece of white Solar Nina cardstock cut to 5.5 by 4.25 inches. And I'm centering up the die that I'm going to use to create my window in the middle of this piece of cardstock so that I can stamp flower images around it. So here I'm just tracing so I can get an idea of where I would like all of the little flower images that I will stamp along the outside of this frame. So using Hero Arts Soft Granite Shadow ink, which is a great subtle ink, I will start using the flowers from the little stamp set to create a interesting frame around the edge. This is going further to adding the detail of quote unquote put a flower on it. So I will just kind of create and arrange here, filling in all of the space to make sure that I have flowers all along the way. You'll notice that I rotate the flowers so that I don't get a consistent look. I really want this to be random and whimsical. So I have 3 different flowers in the stamp set, and I'm just going to alternate and arrange them along the way in this great frame pattern I've kind of traced out with that die. Is the final panel, and now we need to create that cute window. So I will pull out my die cut machine and tape the die onto the center of where my little pencil marks are, and I will cut out the middle portion of the frame so that we have a great little window for our critters to shine through. Here I've put tape on the back of the window, and I am just centering that frame over the top of my stamped image. You'll see that there is a little bit of hang that is off of the edge of the frame, and I simply use my scissors to cut that off so that I have a nice clean edge. I am going to continue to assemble my card. On the back of this entire stamped image and frame, I will tape it up and put it onto a side folding note card, which measures 5.5 by 4.25. I really wanted to give the look and feel of a one-dimensional card, even though it truly isn't, but I did not use any foam adhesive or craft foam to pop this image up on top of the card. I really wanted it to be flat and smooth so that it looked like a simple card, even though there was a lot of detailing used to create this card. So here I am adding the tape with my really big tape runner, but I do love this tape runner because it is repositionable. So if you put down a little bit of adhesive and you want to temporarily stick something in place, you can do so and then just use your finger and remove that adhesive. It's really wonderful. So there you'll see I've adhered it and I am just flattening it out, and I now have my card. I want to add a little bit of sparkle and shine, so I've pulled out a confetti sequins and I am scattering them about on the front of my card using some Ranger multi-matte medium glue. I don't think that is the right name. I should probably get better at this. But in any event, you'll see I am gluing down all of these great confetti sequins among the front of my card. All of the supplies I used today will be listed at the bottom of my blog post, so feel free to zip over there. And there you have it, the finished card. Just a really cute, subtle, put a flower on it theme for the A Blog Name Hero challenge. I hope you all play along this month. I look forward to seeing your creations. Thank you for stopping by and enjoy the remainder of your week.